Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. And today we got another great episode to shoot. And today we got a great organization that I've learned a little bit about, but we're going to learn a lot more about what you guys are doing for veterans. So yeah, let's break this out. Mr. Jack Berkeridge, and he's the CEO. And we got the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of CHEP, Miss Jen Travers. Welcome to the show, guys.
Good morning, Tim.
Thank you so much for having us.
I'm excited. Again, I'm a little nervous because you guys have done the podcast circuit, and I just want to make sure that I represent all podcasters out there that are doing a good job. So
I'm sure you're the best to ever do it.
Great.
Best ever.
Best experience we've ever.
I'm the goat. No, I'm not. All right. So first and foremost, I got to ask, what does CHEP stand for? Because I genuinely don't know that answer.
No, that's all right, Tim. And that's our number one question. So CHEP was founded in 1990 and originally stood for the Chesapeake Health Education Program, CHEP, CHEP.
Okay.
But as CHEP grew, we decided in November of 2023 to change our acronym to Communities Helping to Empower our 3 Ps. Patriots, which is our veteran mission, people, which is our community mission, and professionals, which is providing continuing education credits and programs for clinicians in order for them to get their CE credits. We also use that as a revenue stream to help offset the veteran programs.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different areas of CHEP that you guys are kind of working through.
We got our tentacles into everything.
And everything, but the primary focus is helping veterans.
Veterans. That's what we wake up and do.
Yeah, and how exactly are you guys helping veterans? And we're going to throw it to you.
I love that. So we have 3 properties. We have in Perry Point, on the grounds of the VA Medical Center, we have 10 single-family homes that we house 29 veterans. Then we have 9 apartments in DC, and we have 35 beds in South Carolina, Charleston.
Oh, wow.
And so the veterans come into our program, they can stay up to 2 years, and they just get the services that they need. We call it a hand up. They can come in, they are housed safely, they can seek mental health therapy, addiction counseling, save money, be oriented with VA benefits or some other type of, Social Security disability. We really just look at the individual and try to figure out what can we do to help them and get them back on their feet in the communities and living independently.
Yeah. How are you coming across these veterans?
So some of the veterans self-refer. They hear about us through, they go to an appointment and someone will say like, have you ever talked to someone at CHEP?
Yeah.
Veterans seem to like that. Some veterans are a little intimidated by the VA medical services.
Okay.
The big system.
Yeah.
So they can call us directly. They can go on our website. They can email us. They can call us directly on our cell phones. We answer our cell phones 24/7.
Yeah.
Some are through the VA if they seek services at the VA and then they cannot return to a space or they were living in a tent before they sought services. The VA can refer them to us. There's walk-in clinics in mobile crisis clinics. They'll refer to us. Local hospitals, they all refer to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
exciting.
That is exciting. That is exciting. And are there a lot of other organizations that you guys kind of team up with, or is CHEP kind of like the primary organization for helping these veterans get back on their feet?
We're always willing to partner with other organizations. I mean, the VFW's Mr. Berkeridge sits on a Veterans Commission for Cecil County. And so a lot of those organizations, they have members sit on that board and they can show up and Jack is really telling them like, hey, here's our phone number, here's our contact information. Take this back to your people and have them, pass it out wherever. So the health departments, the hospitals, parole and probation, if we have a veteran that, say they got a DUI,
right.
And then, maybe it was the assault of their divorce and then they become homeless, we kind of partner with them in that way as well.
It sounds cliche, Tim, but it truly takes a village, right? When you take a look at the communities, especially county specific. So we have this corridor of Baltimore, Harford, and Cecil County. I think all programs kind of feed off of one another in order to make sure that we're providing all the resources that are needed on that individualized case-by-case basis.
Yeah. Wow. It seems like there's a lot into getting somebody on their feet. If I'm a person that's coming into that program, what are some of the resources or education pieces that I'm going to be seeing as that person that's in that program?
I'm going to let you answer that, Jen, but first, because I always want to make sure we get this point out there on anything that we do.
Sure.
It's so tough when you take a look at what we do, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, the hardest thing for any human being to do is ask for help.
Yeah.
Right? So when you are in the business of helping people, it is that tough hurdle, that obstacle to get people into the program. And Jen, I'm going to shut up and let you take it from there.
No, that is the hardest part. Sometimes it's, they're worried about like all the things like, do I have to have a job? Do I have to have money? Do I have to pay to come into your program? What we find is that veterans sometimes will come to our doorstep with absolutely nothing. I mean, they've lost paperwork due to a house fire, or they went through a really nasty divorce and they don't have access to the home, so they don't have access to like an ID. So sometimes we have veterans that like, I don't have a bank account, I don't have a driver's license, I don't have a debit card, I have these clothes on my back, but I don't have any other clothes. Jeez. Like, please just help me, you know? And then sometimes we have guys that are like, listen, I made a decision, I'm accountable for my decision. I got a DUI, but it was the fallout of my divorce. All of my money was given to my family. I'm now homeless. How can I have a springboard to kind of give myself 6 months, and I need to go find a new job. And sometimes we just have veterans that are really struggling with their mental health. And because they haven't sought services, they've kind of burned bridges with their families, and their families are like, go and get yourself well. And then, maybe we can talk about you coming back into the home.
Do you find that there are more people willing to accept that help? Or are there more people that are kind of resistant to it and don't?
I think initially people are a little resistant. I think one of the things that kind of separates people coming to us versus maybe some other programs is, one, we have one of the easiest in processing processes. It's meaning like there's no wait time. If you call us today, we'll see like, hey, are you an honorably served veteran? That's truly the only thing that is like a no or go for us. Are you an honorably served veteran? Yes, then you come in. So within an hour, we can usually get someone housed. And then they're going into a single family home and not like a dormitory style living, which is like some of the other programs just have that's their setup.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in a place of vulnerability already, going into a dormitory style with people that you don't know is sometimes a fear factor.
Sure.
Whereas like with us, you have your own bedroom and you're going to be in a home. You'll have 3 to 4 other roommates, but you have your own space.
Yeah.
And that I think is kind of something that kind of makes people feel like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is something I'm willing to take a chance on myself and do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What a great organization. What prompted you to work with CHEP, to get into this kind of field? I mean, are you a veteran? Like, what's that drive for you to start with an organization like CHEP?
I'm certifiably insane, Tim.
Cool. Can I get a job too? If this real estate market thing doesn't work out, I might be showing up at your doorstep.
I'm not a veteran.
Okay.
My grandfather served, but I'd always been kind of an advisor on the board at CHEP. And I come from a very, very different background. I come from private corporate America.
Okay.
And I was that quintessential mid 40-year-old who was really wondering about life's choices and struggling with work-life balance. And then I had a major house fire.
Oh, wow.
In July of 23. And we lost everything. And when I say everything, I mean, we lost everything. And out of the blue, the previous CEO said, I'm actually really thinking about retiring. And is there any way that you would consider coming to work at CHEP? And, when you go through something like a fire, you're really wondering, what are you going to do with your future? What are you going to do when you grow up? And,
Sure.
And this was it. I mean, I love it every day. It's very, very different. I got to be honest, I spent probably the first 45 years of my life walking through this world with blinders on. Those blinders weren't removed, they were yanked off when you work for CHEP. And it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah. Wow. How about you, Jen?
I am not a veteran, but all of my family members are veterans. I actually have a nephew in boot camp right now.
Oh, wow.
In the Army at Fort Jackson.
Okay.
So we're excited for him. Veterans have always been my passion. When I went to school for social work, I knew that I didn't want to work with kids. And I didn't want to work with just adults. I wanted to work with a specialty population. And veterans, to me, just living with veterans, seeing how life changed for them when they would come home. All of my cousins have served. I'm like the only cousin that didn't serve. I picked college.
Okay.
They picked serving.
You're serving a whole nother way now.
I'm serving a whole nother way, but I can see, when they would come home and just how things were different, and watching them try to acclimate to like civilian life was a real struggle for them. And I was thinking like, wow, we're a family that is really supportive and we are a village, but what about all the veterans that come home and they don't have the support or the village behind them? And people kind of like me saying like, hey, cuz you should go enroll in VA healthcare and you should go enroll in services. And they always have this mindset of like, now that I'm home, I'm not entitled to, seek benefits for the service. I signed up for a service. And I think it's changing that mindset.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, if I can do it with my family, then I want to go and do this service for other people, because I think that it's just not out there.
Yeah.
And then I always had the biggest challenge because my grandfather he was a Vietnam vet, and he did not like the VA. He just felt like a number to them all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, if I can get him to seek services at the VA, then like I can get anyone. And like he at the end like was seeking services, going to appointments, and he was like, they need more like you. And I'm like, there's a lot of people like me that care. You may get like, it's a big system, right? So like it's easy to get lost in it, and it's easy to have one bad apple kind of ruin it for you, but it's a huge system. And I'm just passionate about veterans.
Yeah.
And Tim, I love listening to Jen talk. She's so eloquent about who she is and what we do. But just so you know, the average lifespan of a social worker in any one of these organizations, okay, is 3 years. If you look at the national statistics,
3 years?
3 years because of burnout. Because of the
I mean,
obstacles.
It wears on you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and this amazing woman next to me has been with CHEP for 17 years.
Let's go. Let's go.
She is the program. At the end of the day, when you take a look at all the great things and all the fantastic things that we're talking about, make no mistake, it's because of Jen Travers.
Oh, that's huge.
That's huge.
I truly love what I do, though. I mean, I love when I go into the community. I mean, I literally last weekend saw veterans that I've helped that when they very first started, and I was like really green coming out of school, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to ruin anyone's life. Like, how do I know?
I want to put her on the spot. This is great. This is great. This embodies everything that we're talking about. So we're a small family at CHEP. We all work together. And one of the things that last week Jen said, oh man, it's time for us to go buy a new family car, right? And when you take a look at where society is today, these are major decisions, right? These are major life decisions, a lot of stress. Yeah. So Jen goes, visits her brother at the hospital. On her way home, she goes and buys a car, and then Jen, tell Tim what happened.
Yeah, this gentleman, when I walk in and I'm like, I'm just buying a car. No plan, just like today's the day, we're buying a car. Yeah. And I hear this person say like, Jen? And I'm like, oh, Jen's a popular name. I'm keeping going. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, it's tons of Jens in the world. And he said, Miss Jennifer, you're going to walk past me like you don't recognize me?
Oh, my gosh.
And I turn around, and it's one of the very first veterans I served. He's a GM at Acura.
Come on now.
And I'm like, man, I'm buying a car today for sure.
Yes.
And I was like, look at this full circle moment. He still had my number saved in his phone under Miss Jennifer. He's like, I keep it here every day as a reminder of where I've come from. I'm doing so good. I'm sober. I'm enrolled in my mental health. I've bought a house. I'm a GM here.
He's doing
phenomenal.
Come on.
I'm like, man, if I ever need a reminder that like 17 years can just keep on going, it's when I see the veterans that I've served that are still doing so well, and they're pushing other veterans to come and see us.
See, and you, on a day-to-day basis, you're doing so much, and you sometimes maybe even question, like, are we doing enough?
Yes.
And then you have those moments where the past does come back and acknowledge what you've done for them. That's freaking cool.
It's so awesome. Yeah. So awesome. Like whenever I run into someone and they remember my name, or they remember, or even if they're like, hey, do you remember me? I always remember a face. Sometimes names, I'm like, whatever. I just see so many veterans. Like their face is what is so important to me, because I'm like, you're doing it. You're
Yeah.
here. And they're always like, thank you so much for what you did. But I'm like, I didn't do it. I was literally like steering the ship. You really put in the hard work.
Yes.
I was just kind of guiding you for what I knew you could already do.
Yeah.
They can do it. They just need some support sometimes.
For somebody to believe in them when they don't believe in
Yes.
themselves. you know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys see this or not because everybody's algorithm's different on social media, but there's a guy out there who is basically trying to take people that are addicted to meth or fentanyl or whatever and get them off the streets and get them into rehab and stuff like that. Are you guys doing social media like that, telling the story of what you're doing? And I'm sure there's some privacy issues and stuff like that, but I mean, those are cool, heartwarming stories that can really reach a far amount of people.
Yes.
We do celebrate success, and we try to socialize that through all of our social media channels. One of the challenges is certainly privacy, but also there is a pride element to this, to where some veterans don't really want to be celebrated, right? And basically ask us not to share, what they've been through, how they got there, and where they're going.
Yeah.
So we try to be sensitive to that on a case by case basis. But the individuals that allow us to celebrate that and socialize it, we absolutely try to do our best. We also take some of our graduates from our program and put them back to work at CHEP.
Oh, wow.
Presently, we have 3 veterans that work for CHEP day to day on full-time payroll that were previously in our program. And that works out phenomenal because, again, that peer support element, you can't put a price tag on that.
Sure.
You can't
I've been there.
really
I've done that. I
quantify
understand,
that. It's just so rewarding.
Wow. Recently, you guys posted about 2 gentlemen that just graduated the program or something like that.
Yeah.
There's another success story. What was that all about?
There was a veteran. He actually was a mile 1, gifted him a car.
Oh.
And he successfully graduated from our program. And that was huge for us. That was actually the first veteran that we were able to get like a partnership with my old one and have them gift him a car. And it was just huge for him. He was trying to get back and forth to work. He was Ubering. And you would not think that an Uber from like Perryville, Maryland to like Aberdeen is as expensive as it is. But when you factor in the drive over that bridge, apparently it's an escalation.
So don't you guys get discounts up there for that?
Like, we try, man. We try.
Come on, State Highway Administration.
Hey, come on, man. Do us a solid.
Right.
So that was huge for him.
Yeah.
That was really the barrier that was keeping him from being able to go and get in his apartment, because it was like, well, I need my job to pay bills, but I need to pay to get to work.
Yeah.
What kind of takes the cake? So for him, getting that car was the process of like, okay, that's freed up my Uber money. Now I can go and pay for rent. And so that was huge for him. And then we had another veteran who was just successful, just did the program, put in the work, got himself together, and was just able to go and get his own place on his own by himself. Just awesome. When they're just really doing the work to get themselves 100% whole, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially.
Yeah. Wow. What is your biggest struggle as an organization right now?
Money.
Money. You must be nonprofit.
Yes.
We are a nonprofit. And so here's the thing. And Jack could probably speak to this way better. I'm like the person that, like, he doesn't tell no, right? Because he always wants us to be able to do anything and everything for our veterans, but it comes at a cost. And so I think because our houses are on the grounds of the VA Medical Center, they believe that we are part of the VA Medical Center and we have all this money. And that's not the case.
Right.
We are absolutely a nonprofit that is just fortunate enough to be on the grounds and have that space to keep our veterans close to their care. But the reality is the grant that we received to do what we do with the veterans, it doesn't cover things like, hey, I got a job, but I need, a week's worth of uniforms. I can't charge that to the grant. Hey, our veterans are able to get on SNAP benefits, which is like the food and nutrient program where they can get food stamps, right? But it doesn't allow them to buy toiletries. So they can't buy deodorant. They can't buy toothpaste, toothbrush, tissues, paper products, all of that. If they're not working and they're solely on like an SSI or an SSDI getting that type of assistance, those things aren't covered. So we're obviously not going to have someone go without. We're going to cover it. Someone that's trying their hardest to get a job, but they don't have income and waiting on that first paycheck, we're transporting them, but we can't charge that to the grant. So a lot of the things that we're looking for when we ask for people like, hey, consider donating to us, consider, sponsoring us, or consider it's those type of costs that we're looking for offset in.
Every penny that we raise goes right back to the veterans or to the community. When we wake up every day, we operate typically with a $75,000 per month deficit.
Wow.
So we got to make that up.
$75,000
a month. So through all the extracurriculars that we do, the continuing education programs, the working with municipalities and states to put on, their respective programs, the CHEP outpost, we have several initiatives to where we really fight for sustainability. Our 3 big fundraisers, Casino Night, coming up on our golf tournament, May 21st, everybody out there.
May 21st. Hopefully we can get this out before May 21st, right?
and the Jingle Bell Ball, we take all those proceeds to offset that, because Jen is right. We work very hard never to tell a veteran no. There's nobody in our business, there's nobody that ever shows up on our front door coming off a winning streak. So it takes a lot to get them turned and burning. So.
Yeah. You mentioned the events, but then you also mentioned the outpost.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So the CHEP outpost is imagine Goodwill on steroids.
Okay.
So we have 10,000 square feet of thrifting space up in Rising Sun, Maryland.
Okay.
And we called it the CHEP outpost. So if you're looking for a good deal, housewares, house goods, furniture, clothing, we take 100% of those proceeds and use it to subsidize the veteran mission.
Yeah. And certainly local businesses probably play a part in helping you guys meet that $75,000 a month
they do.
need.
We would like more. We know there's more businesses out there than what we got.
Well, you guys are a member of the Harford Chamber of Commerce, right? The Cecil County Chamber too?
We are, yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. What, specifically the Harford County Chamber, because that's where we know each other from on our Monday morning networking meetings. How has the Chamber, being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, helped CHEP?
First of all, what's amazing about that is it is not easy to be a business owner or a business leader in the state of Maryland. There's so many things that go on day to day. Right?
Yeah.
But the way that the members of the chamber really rally together, and not just for CHEP, but all the other nonprofits and community organizations out there in need. You cannot ask for a better group of men and women, who are community members themselves, business owners, business leaders, but really coming together and providing that support. I mean, it's invaluable for CHEP, and again, all the other nonprofits and community orgs out there.
Yeah, there's so many businesses that do provide support to nonprofits, and
phenomenal.
And that's really kind of the backbone of
it is
the community.
It's what it's all about.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely. When we're talking about veterans, there are sometimes misconceptions about homelessness. Or am I wrong?
No.
Are there misconceptions? I would think that there's probably some misconceptions. What are the biggest misconceptions that you guys see, and what could you tell our audience that to kind of right the ship and let them know what's really going on?
The hardest part about this is everyone wants to help a veteran until they're in their backyard. And I don't know what it is. What I find is that when we're trying to place our veterans into the community, it's met with like, oh no, not in our community. I don't want those people in our community. And that's really hard, right? Because I'm like, these are veterans who served our country, honorably served our country. We're willing to do all the things that many of us are not willing to do.
Yeah.
Yes, they sometimes come with mental health, and sometimes they come with struggles of addiction, but they really, really are just looking for someone to accept them.
Right.
And there is a lot of veterans out there that are doing great things, that are giving back, that are opening their own businesses, that are volunteering at some other people's businesses. Veterans are amazing. And I think, yes, there's always a stereotypical, there was a veteran we tried to help, and, then they had a mental health breakdown and it was scary. And I know that those things are real, right? 17 years of working with veterans, those things are real, but there are enough services for veterans that I think I think about not just veterans, but across the world, if we could just be kind and a little more graceful.
For real.
There's plenty of space for our veterans to be in our communities, and really just hey, how you doing? Thank you for your service and welcome back. And they just want to be a part.
And to build off of that, for the most part, no one wants to be homeless, right? So they all have their own individual stories on how they achieved that outcome.
Yeah.
What is really a challenge is when you take a look as an individual, right? We're all so blessed at the end of the day. We know people that have cancer. We know people that have some other disease, and it's tangible, right? We've all been touched by that in our own lives, but there's not too many people that are at the cookout talking about Joe or Bob or Jane who was homeless, right? So they don't really know what goes into that. Not too many people have been touched by that in their life, and I think that adds to the misconceptions, and it's so overwhelming when you are homeless to where do I even begin? What is the priority? Is it to get a driver's license and a social security card so I can get a job? And if I have a job, then maybe I could get an apartment. It's just so difficult to overcome all that. So you're right, Tim. There is a lot of misconceptions out there, and hopefully through your podcast and this outreach effort, we've cleared some of those up. Yeah,
definitely. If people want to help you guys more, what are some different ways that individuals out there, maybe not just business owners, but individuals can kind of step forward and help you guys out a little bit?
So I'm going to answer that first, Jen, if it's okay with you. I think
Jen, is that okay with you?
That's perfect. That is perfect with
Just
me.
making sure. She is the COO after all, which we know who's really in charge.
We talked a little bit about the money on. She is really in charge.
I know.
I work for her.
You're the executive officer, but she's the operating officer.
It begins and ends with her.
That's right.
We talked a little bit about the money, and it's not all about money, right? There's a lot of really easy ways that you can help us. First and foremost is follow us on Facebook. Look for Communities Helping to Empower Patriots, People, and Professionals, or CHEP, or the CHEP Outpost, and just follow us, right? And when you see us post and you see something that you like, please share and like it. That matters, right? That
doesn't it though? Just
does.
the simple thing of commenting or liking or just feeding that algorithm, because Facebook's going to push out those posts more than anything else.
And it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. Second way is we need volunteers at the outpost to help us sort through the donations and go through all of the clothes and the housewares that we receive. So we have, on a weekly basis, large volunteer groups show up. We also have individuals show up, and everything and anybody in between. So if you're looking for the easy squeezy, free stuff,
there you go.
Follow us on Facebook and volunteer. Certainly we have customized programs as well for any organization or individual that's looking to give back. Just reach out to us after this podcast, and we'd be more than willing to have a conversation and set up something custom.
Yeah. Let's shout out that golf tournament again too.
Absolutely,
because that's the most how do you say it, the one that's coming up the first.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
May 21st at Mountain Branch, beautiful course in Harford County.
Yeah,
it's a who's who of Harford County. You talked about the chamber members. We'll have a lot of chamber members that are teeing off. And it's literally to drive to survive, right? No pun.
Drive to survive.
I mean, we are saving lives every day. So,
and there are still spots available for that, and there's spots for sponsorships.
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we have Facebook. Are there any other ways that you can connect? You said that there's a website, phone number, anything like that.
So 410-642-1195.
Okay.
410-642-1195 is our main phone number. www.chepinc.org is our website. And again, volunteers and follow us on social media. It's the easiest way to really help us.
Yeah, definitely.
Share the message.
Definitely.
And we're great people. You should totally come to our event.
We really are.
I mean, we're so awesome.
I thought you were going to be amazing. I was a little worried over here. So, Jack scared me a little. No, I'm just kidding. Jack's like the nicest guy in the world, right?
Nicest person in the world.
You guys are super great people doing great things for the community, for our veterans. I wish you so much success. I hope this does help bring in some assistance for you, whether that's volunteer assistance or financial assistance, because it's such a worthy cause that you guys are promoting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Please follow these guys on social media. You can follow us too. We're at the Markland Advantage on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And please subscribe on YouTube, because we're trying to build that. And we're also on Apple and Spotify, so you can listen to the podcast as well when you're listening. And when you guys get that, please share it. Let's get some people out to that golf tournament. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sam.
Until next time, folks, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.